Welcome to this video series of PST migrations with the Enterprise Vault. In part 1 we're going to take a look at the solution overview. So first off, PSTs cause a lot of problems for businesses. Generally it's a headache to manage PSTs, and the lack of centralized management is really an issue in a large organization. How do you look after those PST files? Do you know where they're stored? Are they being backed up, etc.? It's very difficult. PST files also tend to corrupt. There's various different size limits. PSTs also impact on your nightly backups. So every time an end user opens Outlook, they're attached to a PST file, the archive attribute on that PST file changes. And what that means is that the backup software will pick up that PST file again and again. As opposed to just backing up the incremental change in that file, it has to back up the whole file. So that really does impact on the size and length of time backups take. PSTs also increase the storage requirements. Generally, a PST file is a lot bigger than the content that is stored within the file, and the single instance across PST files, across multiple PST files, is just not there. The lack of content retention. If you have a retention policy you'd like to enforce across a particular type of data or just email in general, it's very hard to do so. In fact, it's impossible to do so across PST files in your organization. It's also very difficult to search for e-discovery purposes. So if you want to try and search all your PST files in one go, there's absolutely no way to do that. You need to collect those PST files, index them, and then search them. So that's sort of summarizing all the general problems you see with PST files. What we see as the solution is to migrate the PST files into Enterprise Vault. And on a high level, it involves 6 steps. First, you have to locate the PST files. So we have a number of different tools that allow you to search file servers, workstations, remote machines. Once you've got back that list of PST files, you need to determine who owns a particular PST file. Obviously, when you're going to import it, you need to know who it belonged to in the first place. From that search, you can also produce a management report that will give you an idea of the size of the problem, where do you have PST files, and it will also help you decide perhaps a strategy on how to import them, whether they're all based at remote sites or all locally on the network or mostly on laptops, etc. That report will be very useful to determine your strategy for the rest of the project. Then obviously you need to import those PST files. So there's a number of different tools, and we'll look at those shortly. We'll also have a demo a little bit later on. You then need to display the content that you've imported back to end users in a familiar way, i.e. Outlook, so they can still find all the content that they used to have in their PST files. And then finally, the best part is to get rid of them. There's a number of different strategies, but most companies would choose to just delete those PST files once a backup's been made. Okay, so this is the end of the first video. Please note the PST migration white paper available at the following link. And in the next video, we'll take a closer look at the client-driven PST migration method.